Our accumulated knowledge and our accomplishments over time can be attributed to our hard work and consistent efforts. We also owe a great deal to the individuals in our lives who have created stimulating and enlightening experiences for us in both formal and informal settings. Today, I would like to celebrate those individuals who believed in me and nurtured me through the years. I would first like to thank my family. I owe a debt of gratitude to my grandparents, Reverend and Mrs. M.C. Phillips, who taught me through their example the principles of servant leadership, the importance of institution building, and the power of communities that act in one accord. And as a person who's been working on building museums, I can tell you building churches is just as daunting. I spent my formative years in my grandparents' home surrounded by a gregarious group of aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends. It was a home filled with unconditional love, where we valued hard work, perseverance, consistency, great meals, and above all else, great storytelling. I have sustained those values in my own home with my immediate family, all of whom are educators. My son Gibran has taught art in museums and community centers. His younger brother Eben teaches at the Brooklyn Children's Museum. And my partner Larry Brown patiently and diligently teaches archery, and he's also taught photography and bead art. Additionally, our family matriarch, my Aunt Audrey, who is in this audience this evening, is a retired principal who, since her retirement, has worked for almost 2 decades teaching students who are interested in the sciences in the MESA program. So I think that she provides us with this example that says retirement means that we just work a little harder at something different. Having wise and thoughtful educators in the family provides me with a personal brain trust of resourceful individuals who share my passion for teaching. I attended segregated schools in Baltimore, Maryland, a region of the country that my colleagues at the Smithsonian refer to as the Upper South. Many of my grade school teachers had PhDs but could not find work in local universities, but we were privileged to have them as our teachers. I will share with you one account of my most memorable teaching experience at Frederick Douglass High School, and yes, the same Frederick Douglass High School that has been the subject of a pretty daunting documentary film. I integrated junior high school and attended Garrison Junior High School, and I came to that school a straight A student, but for about a year and a half I could only get C's. It was a school where when I was a couple of pounds underweight, yes, underweight, not overweight, the school sent my mother a note letting her know that she wasn't feeding me adequately. A school can be a very hostile environment when the focus is on what's wrong with you as opposed to what's right. While I never felt that I was in physical danger at this school, I knew that I was in emotional and spiritual danger. I knew that this school was creating an environment that could cause me to doubt my accomplishments as a student and my value as a person. And so, as Howard Gardner would say, I got in touch with my intrapersonal skills and decided that I needed to go to a high school where I felt I would be loved and appreciated and valued, and I went to Frederick Douglass High School. My first day of school, I met an English teacher whose name was Mrs. Wise, and she said to me, "I know who you are." And I said to myself, of course you know who I am. Everybody in this city knows who everybody else is. And she says, no, I really know who you are. I know your family. I know what you're capable of. I know who you are. She said, your uncle was in my class, and he was in the declamation contest. How many people know what a declamation contest is? She said, your uncle was in a declamation contest, and he did James Weldon Johnson's God's Trombone, and he won the competition. And I am sure that you could do the same. But I have a plan for you. And I said to her, what's the plan? She said, here's my plan for you, because I've been watching you and I've looked at your grades, and I've seen that you have really decided not to put a lot of effort into school. I don't know what you're putting effort into, but school is not that thing. So she said, so this year in my class, you will get 2 grades. You will get 100 or you will get 0. And even though I was not taught to sass, my immediate response was, this is unconstitutional. And she said, I write the Constitution in this room. And so I took her a little bit seriously, and so for my first test, my grade was 100, and I was like, piece of cake. So for the second test, I got all the answers right, and I misspelled 2 words. And on the top of my paper, it said, 98, but for you, 0. And I was like, this can't possibly be true. And so I took the paper up to her, and she said, oh, we had a contract, we had an arrangement, I have expectations, and you will meet them, and your grade is 0, and you'll figure it out. And so I had a real good run. I would say for about 3 months, all I got was 100. And then I got a 0. I think that paper said 99, but for you, 0. And I actually thought that since I'd done so well for so long, she would relent. But she did not. She was very, very clear. And she said, we have an agreement. My job is to get you to do your very best work, and your job is to do it. And while you're in my class, that is exactly what you will do. I made 100s for the rest of the year in Mrs. Y's class. And I learned a number of lessons from her. I realized that when expectations are clear and they're clearly articulated, we can meet them. I learned that when you're persistent and when you don't want to disappoint yourself in others, you can meet your challenges. But I also realized that when other people, when educators help you to be your best self, you feel good about yourself. And so her contribution to my life was very, very meaningful. When I came to Bank Street as both a student and a faculty, I was exposed to some of the best educators that I had ever experienced. They have transformed my life in ways that I cannot begin to tell you. People who know me and know me well know that I have an addiction to brain candy. And having Bank Street in my life has made my life incredibly sweet. Thank you very much.